Okay, he's drawing. Oh, where's the music?
It's not. I don't hear it. Why is it not working? Oh, this is brutal.
That's weird.
None of the sounds working? This is so embarrassing.
So if there's a third person, where does the...
I don't know. We're gonna find out.
Or like make a triangle? Is it like...
You don't hear anything, right? I'm not going crazy.
No, I hear the music. It's very loud.
You do hear the music. Okay, I don't hear the music.
Oh, that's strange.
Do you hear gunshots?
Yes.
It's gonna be hard for me to evaluate this without me being able to hear it.
Yeah, it's strange.
Welcome.
Wait, so you don't hear any music?
I don't hear any music. Oh, is it still loud? Sorry, you're gonna have to like tell me. You're gonna have to tell me when the music's going.
Well, if you started, you should know, right?
There he is.
Hey.
Met the legend.
Oh, hardly. I like that photo. I like Will. I like your backdrop.
All right, listen. We're gonna talk about your background in a second too, but I'm in like I should just turn it off because
You're in your garage.
no, I'm in like a bedroom and my dog jumps in the back and like messes up the bed, so it looks like I'm just like this like very like not unkempt person.
Oh, I see what you're saying. No, all good. All good.
That's what it looks like you're saying. But what is it?
When I wake up in the morning, the dog sleeps. No, I got nothing.
Actually, hang on. I'm gonna grab my AirPods. It might work out better for your audio. Give me like 2 seconds.
Okay.
But if you can't hear that, then what's the point?
It's actually almost funnier. I have no idea what the impact is.
I mean, low.
Should we tweet this out right now? Let's see how many viewers we can get. You know, I'm gonna tweet it out.
Sure. You tweet it and LinkedIn or what?
I think I've been doing too much LinkedIn. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, it's a balance.
See, this is a loop. Whoa, that was weird. Sorry,
What?
I was watching our stream 2 seconds after.
Oh. Did you tweet it out? Or retweet it if.
Litigation. Well, you on X, Twitter, whatever?
I what?
Do you have Twitter? You heard of this new startup?
Barely use it. Yes, I do, but I barely use it.
This new startup that.
So,
That's a
all
single
right.
winner.
Let's.
Sorry, I somewhat caught that as my audio was switching. What about Twitter?
I was just gonna tweet it out.
He's gonna tweet it out to get the masses
Oh, sure.
watching this
Yeah,
live
go for it.
stream. First
I
of all,
don't know if you guys
thanks
can
for joining.
see. Do you guys also
yeah.
see the viewer count in the top left?
Yeah.
Top left.
Oh wait, no, I don't see that.
No, I just see live 3 minutes something, but that's it.
Okay, good. I'm gonna keep you guys guessing how many viewers we have.
Okay. Did you need like Lotus's handle?
Yeah.
Is that helpful? Okay, here. Should I put it in chat?
Yeah.
Yep.
I like this. See, this is why you're CEO. I get it.
And you guys are hot right now.
butter.
That video
No,
is
I'm not
so
gonna
cool.
butter you up too much. But before we get all of our followers here, I am a huge fan of yours. By the way, I watched your video. I'm like inspired by your mission. I told everybody when I came
Very
home
nice.
from the San Francisco trip, I was like, "Yo, you got to check out this company." I sent it to my
You're
brother-in-law,
very
my
kind.
sister-in-law.
I mean, what you're doing is actually really incredible. So I think it's a powerful video too. When you see someone using your product and I think how much you care about customers is really, it shows in the videos. It's really.
You guys are too nice. You guys are too nice.
Oh, we're doing this all before the people come.
All good. I have to say, my imposter syndrome, I feel very underqualified talking to two geniuses like you on anything to do with AI, software. I'm like, you want to talk hardware, no problem, but software or anything outside, I hope I can do you guys justice. I guess let's leave it at that.
What, Click? Did you invite someone else to the call?
I don't know who he's talking about. I don't know. Not sure who that is actually. So tell us how's the reception from the video? Like I think I got some good video count, right?
Yeah, that was a bit unexpected. So we had this YouTuber, Will Phillips, make sort of a mini documentary on Lotus, and over the weekend he sort of published it live, I think on Friday night or Saturday morning, something like that. And by Monday it had 420,000 views. I haven't even checked the last count. It was sort of his type of documentary is sort of the behind the scenes. Yeah. So sure, he obviously talks about the product as the anchor, but more on how do startups really work? How do what are the founders doing? What is the team doing? Less from like everyone thinks of startups like as like these big companies and Apple, especially the ones who are not in the space. But the reality is, and like you and I know this, there's a lot of hustle behind the scenes, and how do you make things work? And you're driving around places, and none of this is fancy, or like it's like that meme on old meme on Facebook, which is like what my parents think I do, what my friends think I do, what I actually do. Yeah, exactly. And so he's trying to get that like third piece. So it was cool.
That's cool. Did he reach out to you, or how'd that come about actually?
He actually heard about us through a partner of Hustle Fund. So you know how Hustle Fund, like Elizabeth goes on The Pitch, the show. And so that producer really liked Lotus as a product and as a mission. And so I guess he talked to Will and was like, hey, you guys should like go talk to the Lotus team. Like, I think it'd be a great mini documentary. And weirdly enough, it actually worked out. So the funny thing is, the way the count worked out, the highest watched video right now is Lotus. It's like 420K, at least on Monday when I checked.
No big deal.
To be fair, that's on Instagram. I don't know what it is on YouTube, to be fair. The second highest, funnily enough, is Hustle Fund. And it's at 80K, and it's Eric talking about the behind the scenes of like VC investing land. So it was just funny how it's like somehow full circle. Anyway.
I feel like I have I really liked the video with the insight that it gave, but there's a couple things you said at the end just about like general startup advice, which I thought was really poignant. And I don't know if this is your advice or you stole it from someone else, but I'm going to credit it to you. But just the concept of like, when you're going through a startup, you're going to have hard days, and you just can't quit on a hard day, right? Like, like I love that. I wrote it down.
I have to say that was not me. So credit is Angela Duckworth. I've actually gone deep down a rabbit hole. She's a researcher based out of University of Pittsburgh, and she studies grit. That's the quality. And it turns out she's done like some 10 or 15 years of study. She's like a MacArthur Genius Grant awardee winner. And the thing she studies is grit. And it turns out everything from sort of boot camp to commercial success, apparently the one factor, all things being held equal, that actually is proportionate to success is grit. It's like if you control for all the other variables, grit determines. And she says the important thing that I loved was, she said, people index on talent. People index on like, oh, this kid could play piano when he was 4 years old or whatever. Right. Except that kid, unless he or she sticks with continuing to work on the talent, it doesn't result in achievement. They have the potential for achievement, but it may go nowhere. Like they could just decide on age 5, like, oh, this is cool, but I don't care. And so her formula that actually stuck with me a lot was talent times effort is achievement. Talent times effort is skill. Skill times effort is achievement. So effort counts twice. Because you can have talent, you still have to hone it into a skill.
Yep.
Like you could be good at basketball, but you have to like practice a lot and hone it as a skill. And then you keep using the skill to achieve something, like win big games, make it, same thing true for pretty much anything in life. And she's like, the media outlook out there that exists is all talent based. But the reality is that's actually effort that goes the distance. And she like studies it as like a researcher, like a very nerdy study. And like, I've listened to her lectures now, and she's got a book. She's got a second book coming out. Anyway, so that I have to say, not credit to me, Angela Duckworth, but that was out of many little nuggets from like my different rabbit holes. That was one, which is her rule for her and her children. She's got 2 girls, is you can quit on a good day, can't quit on a bad day. Just stick with it. Don't quit on a bad day. If you want to quit when you're at the top of your game, no problem.
I love that. Yeah, it's funny
Yeah.
you mentioned kids. I think about that a lot with my kids now, where it's like a lot of the advice I'm thinking about giving to my daughter, or hopefully to my son in the future, I also need to apply to myself on my down days.
Yeah.
Like they're,
Yeah.
we're Clegg and I are very early in this journey, but there's been ups and down days, and it's like a lot of the advice I find myself giving to my daughter, I'm like, oh, hey, that's really useful.
It's funny. I
less
was watching.
songs.
It was funny. I was watching that video. I can never watch a video I'm in, or like a podcast, or a competition, or anything like I'll do it and then never see it again because I'm always cringing. That one I ended up watching because it was a bit longer, and I was like, I don't know how Lotus has been shown. And I have to say, like, I think I was having not a good day that day when I saw it. And I was like thanking my that self, which was like, that's good advice. Which is really Angela. It was more Angela Duckworth, where I was like, it gets better.
I feel like with AI, like you look out and it's so competitive, and there's so many teams that have raised ridiculous amount of money. And I view that as like resources or talent in some ways. And so
Right.
I view the equalizer as like grit. And even if you're a small team, you can still overachieve and really push the envelope, even if you're playing against teams that are, LeBron James of the startup land. And I view that same like ethos as
I mean, there's, in fact, Khalid, to your point, there's actually lots of old examples about this, right? Like the Wright brothers,
Right.
Very famous case study. There was actually another set of people, I don't even remember their name. That's the sad part. They were like extremely well funded. They had like the biggest investors of the day. They had a much larger team. They actually even had press behind them back in the day. And the Wright brothers would go out with like one set of stuff because that's all they could afford.
Yeah.
And they would go and they would crash, and that was it. They could do like one iteration that day. But it's actually, they still won out. And so I think brute force in terms of like resources or potential or talent is not the only thing that counts. It is often a necessary but not sufficient condition, but effort is always the sufficient condition.
So how do you guys think about, like, to me, there's good effort and bad effort, and maybe I'm oversimplifying here, but a really small example would be sometimes it's better to go to bed at 10 p.m. and wake up at 6 instead of going to bed at 4 a.m. and ruining the next day. So like how do you guys think about like when to just put in that extra effort and when to sort of strategically move back?
It's a good question. I don't think I have like a slam dunk answer. I can tell you what I try to do. And some days works better than others. From a bucketing perspective, I try to evaluate my work. And generally, this is actually, again, I'll make a proper citation. So the don't quit on a bad day was Angela Duckworth. This citation is Paul Graham. So I try and evaluate my workday as talk to users, build product. And if I'm spending too much time doing something else, like I'll cut it short. Mm-hmm. It's not quite the same as how long to work, but sure. In terms of categories of work, which is good effort and bad effort, if I catch myself doing too much of this, not talking to product, not building product or not talking to end users, that's in my head, that starts to be like bad work or bad effort, I should say. And I nix it as quickly as I can catch it or recognize it.
So is that like, there's also some like, you have to do them, right? Like you got to do your taxes, right? Like you got to do payroll.
Right. So that's the, have you heard of the Eisenhower matrix?
No.
It's actually really good. Like another citation, very nerdy conversation, by the way.
So drop citations left and right.
I don't know. It's a very nerdy. Like this is how my brain works. So like I think in frameworks. So Eisenhower came up with this like 2x2 matrix. There's things that are urgent, not urgent, important, not important. Taxes, great example of urgent, sometimes less important. Again, important if you're like right on the deadline. Important and urgent. Mm-hmm. That's how I make the exception of anything that's not building product or talking to users. It's like it has to either be important or urgent. If it's neither, screw it.
Right.
Usually you don't want to wait till it's important and urgent. Oftentimes that can be a crisis. So like it's April 14th and it's due 15th. Shit, I got to do my taxes now. Yeah. Okay, maybe don't wait that long. Yeah. But so, there are other categories of work, but I'm talking most of these rules are like 80-20. It's true 80% of the time in 80% of the scenarios. Yes, there are always exceptions. And so for the exceptions, I try to use the Eisenhower rule, which is like, yes, I have to do my taxes, or there's a pitch competition I have to apply to. Okay, not talking to product, not building product, not talking to users. Okay, important, but or urgent. Sometimes just like a deadline thing, right? Like it's due later this week. I haven't even started. Whatever, do it. So
do you have a
that's
pitch
how
that you need to work on? If you mentioned that a couple times now.
No. But I don't know why. But like that came to mind. I think I just saw like a promotional email come in of like, oh, there's a new pitch competition, so it's top of mind. So that's how I try to think about it. There are days though where I don't have a good rule of, today I'm going to go to bed at like 6 and tomorrow I'm going to go to bed. Like I can never predict that in advance. Instead, I think the closest I've gotten to any kind of rough rule or like a rule of thumb is what I try to do is at the beginning of a day, I'll try and peg down one thing. And that's the rule. It is only one thing, not two, one, not three, one. And it's like, if I can finish that one thing by the end of the day, I'm going to call that day a success. And sometimes it's an urgent thing. Sometimes it's an important thing. Sometimes it's both. But in my head, if I knock that out, and usually, one thing sounds simple, you'd be surprised. Like, as a founder, you're doing like 50 things.
Yeah.
And there's like, I had to check this email and I have like 15 meetings scheduled and all this other stuff. Yeah. And sometimes I'll extend my day only to finish that one thing. And then I'm like, okay.
Right.
And by the way,
that one thing might just be deciding what the one thing is. Like that in itself is a hard task.
Yeah. Because like sometimes you have to be like, tomorrow I'm just going to sit and think about my next round fundraise strategy. Yeah. Right. It's a very like amorphous thing, but you spend some time on it. And you're like, okay, you get to a point where you feel like you've done enough, where you've moved the ball the next little step forward. And that's good. And by the way, I'm sure there's somebody has a better rule of thumb for this, but that's what seems to kind of work for me. So I'm trying to base this off lived experience.
How many people do you have on the company now?
I think we're right around 17 or 18 people, 12 of whom are full-time, the remaining part-time.
Okay. So then like in terms of that one thing, when you decide to delegate versus taking it on yourself and then, monitoring the efficiency of employees and just like that whole responsibility of CEO and running that.
Yeah. Anything that's not important and not urgent I don't do it. So either it gets killed, which is what I try to like, if I get a list of 10 things, I try and look at whatever's not important and not urgent. How many of those can I just kill outright? There's some stuff that you can't kill, like, let's say taxes. It's neither important, not urgent right now. I'll delegate. It'll be like somebody else take a crack at it until it bubbles up to the point where it's at least important or at least urgent, if not both. Then it sort of comes back to me. So that's like a rough rule framework that I use. Also, anything that's clearly somebody else's domain of expertise, I'll do that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Then it's like an automatic. It doesn't even come to me.
Here's where I'm going to shoehorn in. Do you like my sounds? I can't hear the sounds. Did they stop?
I did.
Yeah, it stopped.
Well,
nice,
almost.
Nice gong. Yeah. Still reverberating.
I forgot my point now too. Damn it, the gong always gets me. Well, I was going to say I'm going to shoehorn in AI here, but how much AI are you using in your day-to-day to like get past these? Let's call them. Well, in that matrix, are you using AI in your day-to-day?
Yes, I use it for the.
Where is it filling the holes? Is it still just the important task you're paying attention to? Are you? Do you have an open law setup? Like,
Actually,
where on the spectrum are you?
A, I use it a lot, and B, that's actually where I love what you guys are doing. So you're not paying me to do this. I'm going to do this anyway. I love what you guys are freaking working on. It is awesome. I will probably be your first customer.
Write that down.
Yeah,
you hear that, Gleek?
I got a contract. I got a contract right here. It's signed.
Honestly, at any given point of time, I have like I haven't tried OpenClaw yet, but I have ChatGPT going. I have Claude going, and I compare their answers and Gemini. Like those are the three. Like let's spend. Then I'll copy paste the same freaking thing in like each one. There even been points where like I'll have a long conversation with one, then I'll be like, okay, give me a prompt that I can put in the other two.
Manual compaction.
Yes, and then I can compare the answers. So it tends to be a few things. I think that not important and not urgent stuff, if it still has to get done, and there's nobody else on the team that has the bandwidth or expertise to do it, I'll like lean on this for like research or like filling out forms and things like that. So it's like, if you have an application for something, it's just like write an essay to answer this like weird question. Be like, okay, get me started, and then I'll tweak it. So I use it a lot for that. one thing I've been interestingly using it a lot for now, which is why I do the comparison of answers, is for two buckets of things. Sometimes, like, so we do hardware engineering. I don't always, off the top of my head, know what else is out there. So let's say I'm looking for a specific electrical component. I will actually ask it to say, okay, roughly in these parameters, is there something out there that I'm not aware of? Yeah. And I'll go search in all three, and then it'll give me options with like, oh, this company has this one thing, it costs this much. And so I'll be like, oh, okay, I'll go dig into it. That's one. The other one that I've been using more interestingly recently is on debating company strategy. And these are more vague, right? Which is, so we have something called network effects, which is the more people that use our product, the more beneficial it becomes to every existing user and future user, in simplest terms. If you go down network effect theory, there's actually different types of network effects. There's like marketplace effects, there's one-sided, two-sided. There's a lot of theory out there, which you can actually, besides just nerding out on it, it's actually helpful from a go-to-market strategy. So for instance, I'll give you a very simple example. There's something in network theory called like a degree. How many people are you, like how many friends does Will have versus how many friends does Khalik have? And from a go-to-market perspective, if Will has a higher degree, meaning he's got 30 people he's connected to versus Khalik, you have 10 people, and I can only talk to one of you, I'm going to go talk to Will. Because he now knows about my product and he can tell 30 other people about it, right? He's a connector. Yeah. And so it's interesting debating company go-to-market strategy with each of these AIs. And they all, they try and pull up what other hardware companies have done in the past, what's worked, what's not worked, then applying like this theory of network theory over it. It's interesting. They all come up with different versions.
I was going to say, and they're endlessly patient, right? So like you can do that at 2 a.m.
Ad nauseum. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is
ad nauseum. Yeah. Curse. It's a gift and a curse. Like I've actually been awake till like 4 a.m. just like going down the rabbit hole. Like, well, how would you deal with this? And what if Apple came out with this tomorrow? And like,
this is a question for both of you. Because I feel like I often have 6 tasks at least going on at once. And I think with AI, it's taking the focus away for me and making it some split with 5 conversations and 2 tasks and something else over there, and it feels productive, but also is it? Like humans aren't naturally wired to be multitaskers, and I feel like with AI I think I should and I almost have to, but I'm curious if you guys have found that it could be a negative effect.
Will, do you want to go first? I feel like I've been yapping a lot.
And I like your
yapping,
nerd
yapping. Nerd yapping, especially.
I think part of what Deval said earlier about like the important tasks for the not ones, like part of my thinking is that maybe some of the tasks I have split across, because just like you, Khalik, I have like 15 different tasks running. It's a lot easier to make progress on maybe some unimportant ones versus some of the important ones. And so it's a little addictive. There's like a dopamine rush of completing a task. And it's so easy with AI that you end up getting, 7 tasks done that maybe aren't going to move the needle. But at the end of the day, I'm like, oh, I got 7 tasks done. Like that's, good job, Will. Yeah. And so, I do think there's a negative to it. I think it's more important now, particularly for knowledge workers, less so on the hardware side, but for knowledge workers of being like really judgmental of what tasks you're taking on and what you're pushing towards, and being thoughtful about prioritization and not falling into that trap. But I'm curious, like I think it's so interesting because you spend a large part of your day like actually building, and I don't mean software development is not building, but like a thing. Like a something you can hold in your hands. And that to me almost I'm jealous of that because it's almost freeing, because you have to use your you can't just throw Barry. So I have 2 open claws that I work with, Barry and Noodle, and like I'll just on my phone all the time I just like send them tasks. I'm like, oh, go fix that problem vaguely. But to have something where I'm like, does the transistor, like I'm picking it up. Like I'm jealous.
Well, so, I mean, I wish I was still in that boat. Obviously I have delegated that since, so I still
You don't get to do any of that anymore.
Not any. So like I carve out time so I could continue doing it because I enjoy that. Right, like that's my love. I love.
Just tell me, to your left right now, is there or are there not prototypes on the desk?
There might be some, not nearly as many as I would like. If you'd asked me this 3 years ago, there'd be like a soldering station here, like,
right?
I'd be, like, physically. Now it's like hardware prototypes with like different stages of.
Yeah,
it's funny that you're asking me this.
Don't lie to me.
There's like we were testing what button architecture we should have and like what should the tactile feel be. You can't tell on camera, but like each of these is a different height.
Oh,
so like for low vision users, which one could you feel but not be abrasive? Yeah. Things like that, right? Like this is 3D printed. So this is like what it's fun. So the AI question, the tricky part for me is there's too much fragmentation in mind space. And what I mean by that is, as a founder, there's some problems that you just like need to bury yourself and like spend hours thinking about. It's a very complex problem. You're like trying to tease out the different elements. You're even trying to define the problem in your head. You don't want like 15 smaller tasks distracting you from that.
Yep.
And what tends to happen often, for me, not all the time, is it's tempting, like Will, to your point, it's tempting to like something randomly pops up in your head and you're like, oh, I'll just like knock it out right now. And it's distraction. It's like one distraction after. It's like the equivalent of your phone notifications.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's tempting because the barrier to entry is so low. You're like, well, I'll just put this generic vague thing on the side. Right. But it happens a lot. Like you end up forking your like mind share a lot. Like many times in the day, I'll catch myself I'll be like, no. Come back to this like one big problem that you need to like nobody else is focused on. So that's a downside, but again, it's tool management, just like anything else. It's a tool, you have to just use it to the best you can. Mm-hmm. The thing I like about AI tools in general is it's mass customization. So like in the past, if I was doing the research I'm doing now, I would have to ask generic questions, right? Like what has a hardware startup done as a go-to-market strategy in the first 6 months, in the first year? And like I can't be like, go research all the different hardware companies, blah, blah, blah. I have to give every question one by one by one by one. Right. The thing I like now is mass customization. I don't need a generic answer. I can ask a very specific question, not even for just a hardware company, for Lotus.
Yeah.
Like with that company, with that context, at this stage now, with all this information, go research what all the other hardware companies did, what we're doing today. What would you think? Yeah. And like, I don't always agree. And like, sometimes it hallucinates a fair bit, especially for the vaguer the question, the more it hallucinates. And so then you have to debate it back and forth and be like, you said this doesn't quite work. Like, am I thinking about this wrong? And be like, oh crap. Yeah, I didn't account for this or that and whatever. So the thing I like about it is still the mass customization, which is I don't get a generic answer anymore. I actually get a specific answer, albeit with some errors that need some fixing, but it's still for the amount of effort I put into that first version of answer, it's pretty cool. So anyway, it's good and bad. I think that's where like tools like yours would be awesome because it's even lesser fragmentation in mindshare, right? Like right now I have to literally copy paste the same thing like 3 or 4 different times for any type of thing, just to make sure the hallucination is getting cross-checked, right? Like, and so it's like going to 3 different people and asking the same question and checking if they give similar answers so I can tease out the crap. Which is like the stuff that's common in their answers is probably the good stuff. The stuff that's not common is like, maybe I should double check that. Yeah. And so every time I have to do another chatbot AI thing, it's like mindshare versus like, it would be nice if we had tools like yours where it's like a one-stop shop.
Well, and not to interject on your process, you also might benefit greatly from having like scheduled versions of this, like a daily report on some research that you want. Or, again, I talk about Noodle and Barry, but being able to sort of give low fidelity direction and have something come back that has gone through a consensus using agent relay, talking to many agents, and then come back to me without having to really pay attention to that. Again, we're sort of talking about how that's bad, but there's some benefit to that as well.
No, there's great benefit if you have the management tools, which is exactly what you guys are doing, right? Right now, the problem is, they're like a bunch of little leprechauns and either they're doing it on their own time and then they interrupt you whenever you're in the middle of something important, or they don't do anything until you go tell them to do something, and you're like,
Right.
well,
Heard
damn it,
them.
I missed all of today, and I
Right.
could have had them doing something.
Yeah.
And what you kind of need is like a little manager, right? Like a human manager, as you would think about it, would be like, go babysit these leprechauns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they
The
can
head
do a
lep-
bunch of work. Yeah, the head leprechaun, or literally, and it's like an agent that you guys are building. So in many ways, the tools are great if you can manage them better on your schedule, both so that it's not a false interruption and a missed interruption. Like sometimes it's important, right? So I think tools like yours are great because it connects a lot of the disparate pipes that exist in sort of virtual space right now.
And the space
Well,
is
how
so
much-
the space
How
is
much
so
do we
greenfield
how
right
much are
now.
we gonna
too.
pay you to
Yeah.
be our spokesman?
I think the most genuine ones are the ones that come out from a need. So please just build what you're building. And there'll be gratitude from me and many other founders alike.
I really appreciate you. I want to be mindful of your time too. So really, thank you for joining. It's good to see you.
No, this is great.
again.
This is fun. I hope I did justice with whoever was listening.
My wife will watch this later. Everybody say hi to Mary.
Hey, Mary.
It's probably-
My kids will watch this too, so they'll be getting early education.
I don't know, man. We may have gone down too deep the rabbit hole on the lecture
loved
end
it.
of the spectrum.
That's what we're supposed to do.
You were our first guest, and when we get to our 100th guest, you're gonna come back.
Hey, I'd love to. I'd be honored.
then
But
we'll-
no, thank you. Thank you guys for having me. It's a honor and
thank you.
privilege, and I mean that
Thank you.
truly.
Yeah, thank you. Keep up the great work. Like it's really cool and inspiring to see what you guys are doing.
Likewise.
Cool.
I can't hear the sounds, but all right.
I didn't hear any sound. No.
There was no. It was
There was no sound that last time.
We know the closing sound.
Does that still not here?
No, there's nothing.
There's just nothing. This is so embarrassing.
Okay. Well, on that note, or lack of notes.
How about is there
there.
music?
Hey, no.
All right, there we go. The explosions don't work. That
Talk to you
don't work?
soon.
All right,
No,
see you guys.
that's
See you guys. Have a good one. Bye.
Uh,